Rank 2 overall, Hey Jace tweeted last week, Elite Clue rates rebalance. So we're going to be talking all about this in a second, but first I want to share a little bit about what happened last week. So I went to Tennessee with the base team and a lot of content creators and streamers, and we chilled out in Gatlinburg, Tennessee for 5 days in these very nice Airbnb cabins. And we just got to kind of like explore Gatlinburg. We went to Dollywood and just had a ton of fun. This is the first ever meetup I had, and it was just amazing. It's so fucking cool to meet people that you've only met online and actually see them in the flesh. It was just awesome. So anyway, here's a couple pictures I just wanted to share before we get into the main topic. You probably can recognize almost everybody in this photo, but I'm not going to go through all the people. There's me right there, though, hiding behind Zoe RS, right next to Nine Rain. Nine Rain, the type of guy to stand right next to me in these photos now. And let's see. Let's go to this one. So this is at Dollywood. This is me, of course, and the crew. It was just so much fun. I mean, I was riding roller coasters with Bodhi. I mean, that like I literally watch his Roller Coaster Tycoon videos on YouTube. So like actually getting to ride in the flesh, ride, that sounded weird. To ride a roller coaster in the flesh with Bodhi was just a really cool experience. And it was just so much fucking fun. Like the vacation went by so fast. And, but yeah, it was an absolute blast. And then here's a picture of me and Prison Joe smoking a cigar late night. There was a lot of late nights, I'll say that. And yeah, it was just tons and tons of fun. So I don't want to carry on too much, but all I'm saying is I just got back last night, and now I'm just like, God damn it, I'm back home. But to be honest, being as introverted as I am, it's kind of nice just taking a breather and being like, oh, okay, I'm not just waking up to another party, like 5 days in a row. So anyway, Elite Clue rates rebalance. So I want to read this. This is what Hey Jace tweeted. And so as I said, this was just on April 27th. Since their introduction 9 years ago, Elite Clue drop rates have always been wildly inconsistent and unbalanced. Currently, it takes an excessive amount of time to obtain an Elite Clue from almost every source, with some taking a comically long time. Some examples being DKs, 1 in 750, 8 to 10 around 8 to 10 hours. God Wars dungeon bosses, 1 in 250. Fasani's, 1 in 35, just for a single Elite Clue. These are just a few examples of many, showing how completely ridiculous some of their rates are. I am proposing a rebalance to these rates across the board. A Master Clue can be obtained in just over an hour. The standard for obtaining an Elite should be about about 1 per hour, with rates being adjusted based on how rewarding the drop table is. For example, Zulrah, Vorkath, and Muspa are fine as they are, 1 every around 2-ish hours, because the rest of their drop tables are already very rewarding. Whereas sources such as Thermi, GG's, or GG's being Grotesque Guardians, or Giant Mole could be 1 every 45-ish minutes, because their drop tables are much less rewarding. I'd like to be clear that none of these proposed rates would surpass the current best method, Burning Shades, and using the gold keys at Shades of Morton, averaging 1 Elite every 30 minutes, but rather provide competitive, realistic alternative methods which would give choice and variety in how you'd like to go about obtaining Elites. I know there are many more sources of Elites than this, but I'm going to be focusing on the boss sources in this post. Raids have been left out, as I think they are fine as they are. My proposed rates are on the next image. So this is what he proposes. These are the current rates in the red. Now the ones that stay the same are obviously highlighted in green. So almost every single one got a change except for 4 of them. Now, as you guys can see, these are some really drastic rates, but he's going along the lines of he wants just variety and he wants some consistency. Now, this would be basically changing almost every single boss to make them all kind of consistent around the board. And I kind of want to just share a few of my thoughts. So basically there were, okay, well, I guess I'll show the comments on the thread initially. So obviously, there's people that are against this, and for good reason. There is reason why not every single boss in the entire game should just be changed, and every single thing should have a very consistent, Elite Clue rate. And I can understand that. And the reason I can sort of understand it is because, like, I don't know, it's just weird. It would almost be like the same sentiment as just changing every single boss to the same GP per hour so there's variety in GP per hour. It kind of goes along with the same thing. Now, I have been saying for years with Hey Jace that we should be getting more variety in our clue hunting. It is really, Jesus, all the ads. Okay, I'm not going to read all these ads. But anyway, I'm going to have this tweet posted in the description of this video. So go down there, drop a follow on my Twitter and my Twitch down there. Why not? And drop a like on the video while you're down there as well. Anyway, so you guys can go check out everybody's comments on this. I want to share my thoughts. So I don't really agree with every single boss being changed, especially because there's a lot of Slayer bosses on here, which would, I don't know, be sped up, I guess, with the Slayer helmet perks and all that. I think he did keep that in mind, but I don't think it's necessary to have every single boss changed. I think if we were to choose a few of these that could, that are just ridiculous elite clue drop rates, and change them to a more competitive rate, I think that is completely fair and that's warranted, and that would be really a good change for the game. What really sucks right now, and I play as an Iron Man, but I'm going to kind of share my thoughts as if I was a main. Right now, the best ways to get elite clues on a main is Shades of Morton, and if you're like super, super rich, buy a bunch of Dragon Implings, which is very unrealistic. So right now, it's about 1 every 30 minutes to get an elite. But you're doing a method that is completely boring and stupid. I mean, it's Shades of fucking Morton. If you're just doing that all goddamn day, it's just not fun. It feels like you're not really getting anything else done, which is, I guess, fine if you're just not a clue hunter and you're just like, whatever. But as we know, me, like myself and Hey Jace are very avid clue hunters. And of course, this is very, a very biased kind of thing to propose, but it still would bring a lot more, I don't know, fun into the game and variety for those that are clue hunting. Plus, there's so many people that are collection logging nowadays. Like, this is just almost inevitable. The game is inevitably everyone's kind of turning into a collection logger, and there should be some reasonable rates for most bosses. Now, I have been saying in tons of my rambles and Save 8cast, and many of you probably already know that I have just been wanting just 4 or 5 competitive clue rates, or basically competitive elite clue sources that are all along the same line. So you do have variety. They were about to do that with Hallowed Sepulchre. Hallowed Sepulchre, initially, they were proposing to be twice as fast with elite clue gathering. So right now it's about 1 every hour and 45 minutes. That was initially going to be about 1 every 50 minutes, which would have been so good because it would have fallen exactly in line with Sarachnis, which is currently, well, not anymore. Technically, there's a faster method for Iron Men getting elite clue scrolls, which is the 10-man Callisto method. So for those of you that haven't heard, Callisto, obviously got to all the wilderness bosses got to revamp, and Callisto, you can go in there with 10 people with a crossbow. And basically how the mechanic works is the 10 people that do the most damage will get a drop from Callisto. So if you have 10 in there, as long as you do 1 damage, you're guaranteed getting a drop. Now, the drops obviously scale based on how much damage you actually did, but the 1 in 50 elite clue chance, if you're wearing a Ring of Wealth imbued, is always going to be the same. So basically every 50 kills there with a 10-man team, you're going to get an elite clue on average. So that's pretty insane. I think it equals out to about 80 kills an hour, and so you're basically getting 1 elite clue every 40 minutes, which is insane because Sarachnis was the best method for almost 4 years, 3.5 years basically. And that one was about 1 elite clue every 70 minutes. Of course, you do get hard clues and you get crystal keys. Crystal keys are good because if you are a collection log enthusiast, you do eventually want to get the Dragonstone armor. And the only way to get that is by getting a bunch of... What the hell happened to this? What's up with all the asterisks? Whatever. Anyway, so yeah, Dragonstone armor is another kind of reason to go to Sarachnis. But Sarachnis is no longer the GOAT. Now we have Callisto, which, I think is actually it's reasonable. It gives you a reason to actually go out and hunt elite clues in a different way, which I love the variety. I'm still going to choose Sarachnis because I fucking hate being out in the wilderness, just nonstop hunting clue scrolls. That's the worst, especially as a streamer. It's horrible. But I'm still okay with that method being in the game. And I wish Sepulchre had some variety. I wish skilling methods weren't just insane. I mean, there's literally some skilling methods where you're going efficiently as possible, and it'll still take you 20 to 30 hours for an elite clue, which is just ridiculous. But I am not saying that every single source in the entire game needs to be the exact same rates for elite clues. I have been saying maybe 3, 4, 5 different methods that are all in the same margin. So you do have your elite clue bosses, quote unquote, but you'd still have that variety where it's like, okay, I can do this method or I can do this method. It's not just one or even two dominating methods that are just better than everything else. It's cool to give variety, and I think that's where the fun comes in. And I think that's really what Hey Jace is proposing. Obviously, he's just listing every single boss, what the rates could be to be fair and be balanced and and just to give that variety. But of course, not every single one would need this. He's just sharing which ones could. Now, of course, Hey Jace is on his elite clue grind, so it does make sense that he would tweet something like this. That's the same thing I do. It's the same thing every player does. Whatever you're doing in game, of course you want whatever you're doing in game to get some sort of change if you feel a change is warranted. So every player is biased. We just got to get that. We just got to understand that. Now, hard clues still have a problem as an Iron Man. Right now, we have one dominating method for hard clues. And I know I'm kind of going on a tangent now because this is supposed to be just focused on elites. I'm just saying clue scrolls as a whole. I mean, we could go to mediums as well. Right now, I mean, since 2015, Puro for 8 years, Puro has been the dominating meta to getting medium clues as an Iron Man, which is just stupid. It's just so stupid. It's the worst method ever. It's so awful. I hate it personally. I guess that's subjective, but like that is something that needs to be changed. We need to get more variety in medium clue hunting. We need to get more variety in hard clue hunting. For Iron Man, it's been warp jellies for years. It's just so dominating. Every other method sucks compared to it. And it would just be cool, I know that not many people are clue hunters. There's more and more every single day because of the collection log, but man, if we could just have 4 or 5 methods, as I've been saying, that just give those same rates, same hourly rates of clue scrolls, I think that would just be so much better for the game. Now, I am really hoping that the new clue expansion that comes out, probably next year, maybe the year after, just comes out with some really great clue perks. For example, I don't know, some sort of worn item that can kind of boost clue scrolls. I know there already is that with combat achievements and stuff, but yeah, I am totally on board with Hey Jace. Again, I don't think every single thing needs to be changed, but I think there does need to be that discussion around the game of, hey, elite clues are fucked, hard clues are also fucked now. Most mains will not complain about hard clues because they're so much cheaper. The impling, version of getting basically every main that's actually actively clue hunting is just going for imps. Now, I know it's not every single one, but if you're really passionate about getting clue scrolls done, you'll just do imps. But elite clues are a little bit different because dragon imps are so insanely expensive compared to their counterparts. So most people don't really consider, Hey Jace would probably never come out with something that's hard clue rates, please fix them, because you could just get magpies or nature implings or whatever. But for Iron Man, getting mediums is a pain in the ass. Getting hards is a pain in the ass. Easies are the only thing that are kind of not a pain in the ass, but you just have one dominating method, which is ham members. You could go to Puro too, but yeah. They all basically need to be looked at. It would be cool to just see several options for each clue tier that are around the same time to get an elite clue or to get hard clue or medium or easy, whatever. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to share this tweet because I think something does need to be changed. I've been talking about it forever, and now Hey Jace is, posting his thing. And I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below, though, because I already can see the comments being, we don't need to change anything. Everything's fine. Yeah, I know, because people that don't do clue scrolls, who gives a fuck? It would be the same thing with somebody coming out with a proposed thing for some wilderness. I would just spam in the comments, no, we don't need to shut the fuck up about wilderness updates. We don't need it. But you got to understand, we as a game community, we need to come together and hey, there could be something said about this. I try not to be too biased about wilderness updates. I try not to be too biased about anything that people genuinely want that isn't my area, that not the reason I want to play, but I can still understand that another player would see that as nice for the game. So anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. There could seriously be some good criticism to this. I want to hear what you guys think. And yeah, anyway, so that's kind of the ramble for today. Just sharing my thoughts and sharing these proposed rates that Hey Jace posted. So anyway, Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.